All right, back on TYT Sports, back from the fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I was at Summer League for a little bit. It was a lot of fun. We're going to get into that for a clip tomorrow, though, because we start with the NBA announces a new Hack-a-Shaq rules for next season. They're finally going to cut down on it's really, nowadays, it's Hack-a-DeAndre, Hack-a-Dwight, Hack-a-Hassan, Whiteside, not Piker, Hack-a-Andre, although we hack Hassan Piker all the time here.
Non-stop.
So here's the rule change and what they are going to do to prevent teams from committing these excessive fouls away from the ball. So to prevent teams from committing excessive away from the ball fouls and ruining the flow of the game, the league has approved a rule that will reward the fouled player with 1 free throw and the ball for any away from the ball foul committed in the last 2 minutes of every quarter. It used to just be the fourth quarter. So in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, you couldn't just hack. Well, you could hack a player, but the difference is that you get the free throw and you get the ball back, meaning no team is going to do that and put, a team ahead more if they can, or if they're trying to cut down or cut a huge lead. So giving the ball back, not a good thing. Now that it's at the end of every quarter, or the last 2 minutes of every quarter, you're not going to see it as much. You're still going to probably see it with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Because if they're down by 20 and they can put Dwight on the line, why not put Dwight on the line? But it's at least a step in the right direction. I'm curious where you stand on this, because the other side of the argument is make your free throws.
That's the other point. Is I've seen this quite a lot with the Clippers with DeAndre Jordan, right?
Yes.
Infamously one of the worst free throw shooters we've seen. But he started to work on his free throws a little bit more so. Like, of course, I'm new to this rule, and I understand why it was called Hack-a-Shaq. Arguably one of the worst.
With Shaq.
Yeah, so I understand from a strategy standpoint why this would make sense. Like, it happens in every sport. If you want to try and nullify the other team's strengths, you try and highlight their weaknesses. So if someone's a weak free throw shooter, you put them on the line, and you make sure that they have to at least make it. And we've seen numerous games be swayed one direction or the other because of this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that there's a line when it comes to the entertainment value. It's not as entertaining to watch someone continuously put on the free throw line. And teams will start to reconsider if they think, wow, collectively throughout the game, not only are they going to have an opportunity to score 1 or 2 points, but they're going to get the ball back either way. So what better off are we?
Right.
So it's kind of a high risk, and it can be a high reward for the opposition team who, if they make the free throws, they're getting an added 2 or 3 points, or added 1 or 2 points, or even 3 if they, for some reason, hack them outside. Plus, we get possession back. So it's a good rule in terms of the teams that now could utilize it to their advantage. If you start to send DeAndre to the line and he makes 1, it's not a loss if he makes 1 or 2, because you're still going to get the ball back.
Right. Exactly. So it's a huge benefit. I shouldn't say huge, but it's a bigger benefit to teams like the Clippers, now the Hawks with Howard, the Heat with Whiteside, the Pistons with Drummond. And again, it's amazing because why I think it's so not exactly a shocking rule change, because the flow of the game is important. Obviously, you want that entertainment value up, because the more entertaining it is, the higher ratings are. And what does it come down to, like every other sport and every other industry? Money.
Let's talk about
money.
I was going to say sex.
Oh. Okay, well,
just because the song's in my head.
It has nothing to do. We're getting to the Pornhub clip later in the day,
right,
Francis.
sorry, I'm jumping ahead of the game.
Later in the day.
My bad.
But what's amazing is because of 4, 5, 6 players, they implemented a rule change.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy in general, because when Hack-a-Shaq started happening, people were outraged about it, but it was really only 1 or 2 players in the league. I mean, there was, of course, guys who couldn't make their free throws as a big man, but Shaq was so unstoppable.
Yeah.
But they didn't change it because Shaq was so unstoppable, not from the free throw line, but just in the paint, that the idea was like, we got to stop this team from scoring. We got to stop Shaq from getting the ball down low, which in itself was near impossible.
Yeah.
Because he's so massive.
Well, you want to believe in sports that there is an authentic way to try and stop an opponent, that unstoppable force, and by potentially putting something forward that is within the rules of the game. Like, if you're seeing Lionel Messi destroy everyone, you don't want to see someone just hack the shit out of him. You don't want to see someone kick him until he cannot move anymore. And that is a rule in every sport, is you want to see, if you believe in sports and you believe that the entertainment value is important, then you want to see someone try to nullify their opponent within the means of the game. So strategy, double team, these things are what you want to see. But the overwhelming answer is that's just not the way sports works all the time. It's like, sometimes you have to be a little bit dirty. Sometimes you have to play against the rule. We just see Portugal win a major tournament from not playing within the entertainment rules of the game, from being a little bit more unauthentic. And I can't criticize that. I think, and I've seen basketball teams do it as well. The Cleveland Cavs structured their defense around nullifying the Golden State Warriors defense. It wasn't the Cleveland Cavs. One of the main reasons they won that finals is they started to focus a lot more on defense that, in a way, wasn't as exciting to watch because no longer would you get Steph Curry being able to shoot, and if you hinder his opponent, it's not going to be the most entertaining game, but that's what gets the victory in the end up. So
it's all that matters.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people, like the fans, misconceive the idea that like it's not just for us. Yes, they play, but they play to put on a show, obviously to a certain degree, but it's also their job. I don't come in here every single morning and go, I'm gonna put on a show for everybody around me. Like sometimes there's just work that's got to be done, and a pretty bad analogy here, but in general, there's work that's got to be done. In Portugal's case, in Cleveland's case, in some teams' cases, they need to win. A lot of people will say that about the Spurs.
Yeah.
Although anybody who says that they don't like watching the Spurs, I truly believe doesn't truthfully love basketball because it's the most beautiful form of basketball. Pass, 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 pass.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, there's an open layup. Use all 23 and a half seconds of the shot clock, and oh my God, easy layup. Some people don't like that because it's not as entertaining as Kevin Durant hitting long threes or Chris Paul crossing somebody over. So this whole rule change comes into play. I think it's a good thing that they're keeping it to the final 2 minutes of each quarter instead of calling it anytime you deliberately just hack somebody in the last 5 minutes.
Well, that would make things a little cloudy because then they'll be like, oh, was he deliberate or was he not? Like sometimes the
that's
rules are a little cloudy
that's
already.
The other issue is like how deliberate do you make it? Flagrant foul rules, flagrant foul calls get called a lot easier nowadays than they used to. So I just wanted to add this little piece. In addition to the Hack-a-Shaq rule change, the league will be following a similar protocol for fouls during an inbound situation. The quote is for inbound situations, defensive foul at any point during the game that occurs before the ball is released by the inbounder will be administered in the same fashion as an away from the play foul committed during the last 2 minutes of any period, one free throw and possession of the ball. So it's basically like if you just immediately go up to somebody and
how much did that hurt your hand?
foul! Yeah. All right, so there's new rules. We like new rules. I guess we like new rules. We'll see what happens with the NBA next year. Maybe the new rules will be put in effect and Drummond, Whiteside, Howard, and Jordan will hit their free throws. Maybe. Comment below with what you think about the new Hack-a-Shaq rules. Are you okay with them, or do you believe that these players should simply just make their free throws? At Francis_Maxwell on Twitter, at JasonRubin91, at TYT Sports. We're also on Facebook. I think we're live streaming on Facebook as we speak. We'll see you next time.